Hey, welcome to my video. I'm Jennifer Roberts and you're catching me on my YouTube channel, True Divine 44. You can also catch me on my Facebook page, True Divine, and it is the True Divine on both Instagram and Twitter. Any likes, shares, subscribes and comments are greatly appreciated, and much love to everybody who is doing that thus far. Especially the comments. I love the comments. I love to hear where you are on your journey, and thank you to everybody who leaves those comments. So this is part of the daily energy readings that I do. I missed yesterday. I'm so sorry. I had some family things I needed to get done with the kids. Things being as they are, it's a little bit difficult at times, but I try not to let you down as much as possible. So I'm back, and this is the daily energy readings, where I combine the energy work that I do, picking up on the energies of the day, and combine those with the tarot cards to bring you a narrative to help guide and inspire you and help you navigate your day. So this is for the 26th of July 2020. Press the rewind, and it is general, so take what resonates, take what helps and guides you, but leave the rest behind. It's general, and so it can't always meet everybody's needs, but there will be something somewhere in it maybe that you can use or pass on to somebody else. So again, take what resonates and don't feel bad about leaving the rest behind. So on the 24th, not yesterday, the day before, we talked about this energy that seemed to be rising up for some people, where it was this energy of theft, this energy of jealousy. And I've noticed that for all of the positive things that I'm seeing and feeling, in the last few days there's been this spike of negative energy. Now, it's not that it's just all of a sudden popped up in people's lives. It's not that it was always there, but for some reason the narrative has gone on, and the energies of these people who wish harm, that are being a bit vindictive maybe, or this energy of theft on the collective stage and in our individual lives, they've somehow been affected by the energies around them, and there seems to be this spike. I think more to the point it is that it's just being revealed, and that it was always there under the surface, and it's actually a blessing the last few days, because it's more of a fact that at least you have more of an idea where it's coming from. And this reading does just that also. It gives us more of an idea and more of an understanding of where it's coming from, if this resonates with you. So we've got the Page of Cups for the first card, the Water Prince for the first card, and that is clarified by the Three of Swords. So immediately for me it popped out that this is somebody who is acting out of insecurity in the most part, in that there's a lot of wounds, especially inner child wounds. The Page of Cups is a very childlike energy, very childlike energy, and in this case seems a little bit immature. But it's more to the point that whenever these childhood wounds or past wounds happened, it's as if that really affected that person at that age, and it sort of locked them into that age a little bit regarding certain emotional things. And for whatever reason, the energies that I was speaking of earlier, these emotional things are triggered very easily right now. And so this person has been acting out under the radar, and what they've been doing is externalizing these inner childhood wounds that they are too frightened to face, understandably so, too frightened to face. And so the insecurities has made it so that if this resonates with you, unfortunately for you, you're the object of desire to externalize these emotions onto. And so with that being said, at least it is being revealed where it's coming from, slowly but surely, and it is also giving you a greater understanding in that although it's frustrating and can't be taken lying down, by no means you cannot become a victim of this, but it does give you a greater understanding and a greater confidence that actually there's not that much more you could have done differently in this circumstance. There's not that much more you could have done to stop this from happening. It's a case of that, you know, this was going to happen, because this person isn't acting out of logic, they're acting out of inner childhood wounds. So maybe when you're looking at this person, one, you don't take it so personally, even though that's difficult to do, I know, but you don't take it so personally because you have a greater understanding, and you can almost look at them, hopefully, after this reading as the child that is hurting. And that's not to be patronizing at all, it's just that, you know, there's a level of compassion there then when we have the understanding of that this isn't just an adult acting out of vindictiveness and nastiness. Of course, that may be the case for some of you. It's more to the point that there's great childhood wounds there, deep wounds from the past, if not childhood, that are being externalized by this person, and unfortunately for you, they're being externalized onto you. It also speaks of, you know, the collective stage, in that we're being sold a lot of dreams by a lot of people. We're being sold a lot of narratives by a lot of people that might look good on the surface, that might seem real, but actually they're built on illusion. They've been plotted and planned, and they're trying to connect into inner wounds of yours that, you know, are trying to be, that are triggering you in the direction that they want you to be triggered in. So be wary of that if that is you also. It does speak for some of you, maybe even just one of you, of this relative or somebody in a place of trust and power in your life in the past, in your childhood, that wasn't very kind to you in one way or the other, was abusive to you in one way or the other. And it might be that you suddenly received very unexpectedly some kind of news about money. And I know that sounds all clairvoyant-y, but you know, the fact that this person, the universe does work to give back and to rebalance and recalibrate with everything in nature. And so the fact that you were hurt this way, it might be that, you know, the only way that this person who hurt you, the only way, because they were both emotionally stifled too, it may be that that was the only way of leaving you this money, that they could find some kind of peace and some kind of self leveling, self-forgiveness. And if the person I'm feeling right now is listening, don't you dare feel guilty regarding this money. Don't you dare feel bad or guilty about using this money for your greater good. See it for what it is. The universe, if it's too hard for you to see it as this person asking for forgiveness this way, see it as the universe, nature, rebalancing, recalibrating. Something was taken away from you in childhood, and the universe has given you the opportunity to have the monetary funds or the opportunities to be able to afford something that is going to help you transmute those wounds from childhood. Some guidance, some R&R, you know, some whatever it might be. But don't feel that guilt about enjoying this money. It is yours. It was yours all along, and it may not even compare to what was taken from you, but it can give you even greater than what was taken from you if you use it for your greater good, if you use it for something that is going to bring you wholeness, that is going to bring you self-love, self-affection, self-care. So you do that without feeling any guilt at all. These two cards, you know, also ask us to, what else are they asking us to do? It's asking us to not be afraid. If this resonates with us regarding childhood wounds that, you know, are just limiting your dreams, limiting your imagination, limiting your childlike direction, your childlike fun in life, your ability to let loose and have fun in any given moment. It's asking us to be brave enough to face these wounds. It's asking us to be brave enough to go back and take what we can from them and finally leave what is damaging regarding them behind. It's asking us to really truly work to heal and let go of those things that just hold us back, that just limit our childlike dreamy state, our imagination. Our imagination is very important, and it's important that our imagination is allowed to be as big and as expansive as it can possibly be. Through imagination, through our thoughts, become our manifestations, you know, through our imagination and our thoughts then becoming the words, then becoming the physical manifestations in our life of our reality. So if we're being stifled by old wounds that we're too afraid to face, you can imagine the limitation that that is having on your life and the limitation of your enjoyment and your childlike state in life. So, you know, be brave enough to face them. You won't fall off the face of the earth. You won't explode into a million pieces. Although it might feel like it when you first start doing this and first start facing these wounds, you will get through this. It can take strength, courage, understanding and forgiveness of self. But you know, you can do this, and then you let your imagination soar. As far as the negative energies that might be surrounding some of you, if you see this card, and it's one of the oldest decks that I have, so it's got the writing on, you all know that. If you see this card here, you see that it has this watery halo around him, and it's like the pebble in the water that I talk about a lot. You see it's rippling out from him and it goes before him. This is his aura. And so if we're carrying these wounds, this Three of Swords within that aura, because usually this on other decks this sword is three swords are going through a heart, very graphic, very painful. If we are being stifled, that right in the middle of our aura, that we've got these wounds, these childhood wounds, these past wounds, you can imagine what we're transmitting out via our emotions, and therefore you can imagine the negative energies that we will be attracting in. And so, being the magnet, it's important that we take the invitation of these two cards to really transmute these inner wounds, these inner pains, these inner hurts. But also the negative energies that might be trying to externalize their pains on you. Don't be surprised at how far it's already gotten, this ripple effect of these messages. People right now are looking, a lot of people right now are looking for any excuse to excuse their own behaviours and externalize their own fears of facing their own inner grounds. And so it only takes one or two people to be receiving of whatever convoluted, whatever twisted narrative they're being sent, for them to be like Chinese whispers, you know, this ripple out into the other people around you. So don't be surprised at just how far things have already gotten. But know that you can gain control of this and you can gain higher ground in this. I'm just going to clarify that a little bit further. I'm not bothered about doing a longer video today because I missed yesterday. So the Eight of Cups, to clarify that even further. You might find that you're really having to move away from certain circles of people. It might feel disappointing. You might feel that disappointment in people that they didn't come to you, that they didn't let you know what was going on when they knew about it sooner, quicker than you. So that might be a bit disappointing. It might be a bit hurtful. But move past it. Don't dwell on it. There's nothing to salvage there. There's nothing to keep there. There's nothing worthwhile keeping there. This isn't about fighting your corner. This is just about moving past and moving above this energy that is trying to take away from you or take away from your character. So the second card is another messenger, and it's the Fire Prince. And so the Page of Fire, Page of Wands. And so this Page of Wands representing most of you, I feel, that are listening right now, in that it's doing exactly what this Eight of Cups is asking you to do, walking away, because he's facing in the other direction to this Page of Cups, and this Three of Swords. He's not even acknowledging them. He's just looking in the other direction and walking the other way. This Page of Wands is immovable. He's flexible. He can change things up on a dime. He can make things work for him. He can be disappointed for a second maybe, but then back bang onto new opportunities, new horizons, and he's not afraid to take risks and move toward the things that he wants, the things that he loves, the things that bring him peace. With that, the Hermit is clarifying him, and the Hermit is looking in the opposite direction towards this Three of Swords and this Page of Cups, and now this Eight of Cups. And so this speaks of that, yes, do what you need to do to move past this and let your flame burn brighter than any kind of negative messages or negative narratives that may be being put out about you. But also to not forget that you can't then cause yourself wounds that you're ignoring. So make sure you're doing the inner work with this Hermit card, with this warrior that is the Hermit, the major arcana that goes within in the inner grounds, to constantly do that self-care, constantly do that self-evaluation, to leave no stone unturned, no dark corner hidden, no part of self hidden in a dark corner, to then ultimately get distorted and ultimately cause even more Three of Swords in your life. To do this on a regular basis is a must anyway with the Hermit. I'm just trying to catch this card. It's gone right under. Oh wow. So I'm going to take these two. I know this will be a longer reading. Missed yesterday. So if you want to stick around and listen, that's fine. If you've got to go, come back to it, whatever pleases you. So those two cards dropped out to clarify that, and we've got the Six of Pentacles and the Strength card. So it does take strength to move above, put your head above drama and things that might affect your ego a little bit. And it does take strength and a little bit of ego, in a good measure of ego, to be able to initially put on a brave face, light your flame, and go in the direction that is good for you, that is away from people who mean you harm, or people who aren't able to do their own inner work, so they try and externalize onto you. But at the same time, so that does take strength, and it does take a sense of character and a tiny sprinkle of ego to get it done, to get the job done. The Six of Pentacles is this reevaluation of, you know, where you put your generosity, where you put the pentacles, where you put your time and effort to keep these inner scales balanced and outer scales balanced in your physical world with your pentacles, how much time you're giving to certain people. And maybe you've learned a few lessons over these last couple of days as to what to give your energy to, what to give your time to, who to give your energy to, and who to give your time to. And with this Hermit card constantly in the background, reevaluating your inner space and the decisions that you've made, means that, you know, you go forward in a greater understanding of self and a greater understanding of others and others' personality makeups and personality flaws. The third card being, and again this came up just a couple of days ago, the Seven of Swords. So there's still this effort, even though here you are, here is whatever energies are trying to affect you, if this resonates with you, or the energies that you're affecting yourself with, these inner wounds that your childlike state is not wanting to deal with, or that your inner child has buried for so long that you're now externalizing them onto somebody else, and the need to walk away from this. There's nothing to salvage here. There's no convincing or talking or anything like that that would be worthwhile. So you have that going on, and then I feel like for a lot of you, you being in the middle, where you're having to, you know, have that enough ego, a healthy amount of ego, to light your flame, straighten up your crown, and move in a different direction, be mutable like the fire, and able to be flexible with your goals, and find another way, find another people, find another avenue. Having the strength to do that and do it with grace and poise, gentleness, subtleness, in particular grace and poise, with this Strength card, and that reevaluation with the Hermit, with this major arcana of, you know, having more wisdom about where to put your time, where to put your energy, where to put your physical gifts, your time, your effort, your pentacles, your money, where to put it and who to put that towards. But then still we've got this persistent energy, you know, of this Seven of Swords still coming in, and it's clarified by the Seven of Pentacles. And so again, there's this very persistent energy of somebody or something. Now, whether it's on the collective stage, we can obviously see that in many ways, that, you know, on the collective stage, we do have this very persistent energy where we're seeing our politicians act like children on the stage, politicians in America, politicians in the UK, acting like children, literally name calling on the stage, in a very childlike manner, all in an effort, you know, to be distractionary and to be able to, for their own benefit, take that which you have earned, take that which you have built up, your business, your house, the things that sustain you physically, your land. So to be aware of that. And again though, where it might feel like this energy is winning and this energy is draining, no, it's not. This is just a partial success, if any, of theft of any kind. In your individual life, there is this persistence also, and it's as above, so below. So the politicians acting like that, it's bound to filter down into people, into our individual lives. So there is something to be aware of here, of somebody wanting to take that you have built up, take that you have earned, to take it away from you, even if they can't use it themselves, just so that you don't have it, because there's this inner child acting out, but out of an adult's body, out of an adult's mouth. And it might be a little bit difficult now because of these ripples that have been going on under the surface before you've become aware of this happening in your life, these ripples here, It might be a little bit hard for you to pinpoint where this sneakiness, where this theft is coming in from, but there will be revelations to this. There will be sight given to this for you if you have a look for it around you. The Five of Pentacles comes out, and there is this need to cut these energies out, to separate yourself away from these energies, because to have anything to do with them, to have any kind of contact with them, would only serve to keep the door open for this very sneaky behind the scenes theft to continue, especially theft of character, theft of a good business that you've built up over time. The ramifications of leaving the door open to this are great, but if you continue to do what we're doing in the middle of the reading here with all of these cards that we mentioned before, putting your head above this, moving forward, you know, having that little bit of ego and strength in good measure to you know, push through, challenge yourself to push through, you will succeed. You will be able to rise above this, and there will be, you know, a lot of lessons to take from this, some not so nice. You know, if you've been thought you could trust people, or thought you knew people around you, that suddenly you've been involved in this in whatever way, shape or form, at whatever varying degree, then yes, of course, that is going to be hurtful. But only let it be hurtful for a time. We are in control of our emotions. Our emotions should not control us. And there's something about getting down and practical right now that will help get you through if this resonates with you. One last card to clarify that, please. Two last cards. So, Nine of Cups and Ten of Swords. So the cycle will come to an end. This isn't a lasting cycle. It's something that can't last, because the person who has externalized this energy onto you, actually, people get bored, and people start to get burnt as well by this energy. More times out of 9 times out of 10. And so it does come to that 10 where there's no room for any more swords in your back. Look, there's nowhere for anybody to stab any more swords. So this cycle is coming to an end. It has to stop. You continue to follow your wishes, follow your dreams, follow what makes you happy. For some of you, don't delve into that wine bottle too much during this time, to try and ease some of this pressure. That's one warning that can come from the Nine of Cups. But most of all, it is about finding your pleasure and realizing that there's wisdom in this lesson also of not putting too much stock in others and the pleasure that others give you. To always maintain a high level of self-pleasure, of self-pleasure. You know what I mean, of pleasure in self. That doesn't sound any better, but you know, how do I word it? Of not externalizing again, just as this other person has done with the wounds, not externalizing your happiness too much on the back of the opinion of others, or the wishes of others, or the emotions of others, and the passions of others. And their opinions of you, to always maintain a healthy balance of your own self-love, your own your own passions, and that to not put too much stock ever at any point in what others think of that, or how others would contribute to that. To be able to have enough of yourself, to be able to do enough of what you love yourself, without it being externalized also. So on the bottom of the deck, we've got the Five of Wands. This is a persistent energy, and it's a persistent energy on the collective stage, and it's a persistent energy, therefore, filtering down into our individual lives. This too shall pass. People get bored. People see people for what they are eventually. So you shine your light bright. You know, this is conflict. They'll end up fighting amongst themselves. All of those that, if this resonates with you, that maybe you've been involved in stirring the pot, in trying to sabotage something that you're trying to do that is good for you, good for others, or just something that you enjoy doing, they'll get bored, and you'll continue plodding on in the other direction, finding more people, more pleasures, more interests, because this is fire and this is the magnet. You know, they're like moths to the flame. They'll follow you. Just don't heed too much. Don't take any heed or any. Don't move away from it with this Eight of Cups. Don't allow it. Although it's not nice, it's not pleasurable. Nobody can pretend that it is. It is what it is, and it will pass. And you hold your grace, you hold your poise, you hold your class, and don't lower your standards in any way, shape, or form to give this any more attention than it deserves, which is very little. You rise above it, move in the other direction, and you'll find that you come out on top. Because ultimately you are working towards self, and ultimately you're working towards self-expansion. There's no need for vindictiveness, therefore you'll start to attract people who are whole, who are happy, and who want your best good. And of course you'll come out of it with the Hermit having shed light on both your own need for growth regarding where wounds and triggers might reside within you, but also a greater understanding of others and other people's need for growth regarding inner wounds that they might not have wanted to face, which again is great for personal life. It gives us a greater understanding and insight of people and relations, but it also gives us a greater understanding for business, in how to relate to people and how to manage people, how to get the best out of people, and how to understand people sometimes, and not get too offended or triggered ourselves when these people are acting out towards us. On the collective stage, basically as well, people need to grow up. If they want to be in a position of power, then they need to be like good parents. They need to be able to be on stage and debate in a way that is whole and hardy. But that's what the psyops right now is. They're not stupid. They're not just acting like children on stage just because. They're doing it very deliberately, because there's enough energies out here in the collective that haven't done the inner work and that are like adult children, that they're easily triggered into thinking that, oh, okay then, so mum and dad are happy to air their dirty laundry on the wide stage, you know, on the television, in the papers, on social media even. So now it's okay for us to do it. And that's the danger about having leaders that we have in power at the minute, in power at all, because they're not led by their own hearts for the main part. They're not led by their own morals for the main part. They're led by the people who have the deepest pockets, and what they want them to say, what they want them to say they stand for, what names they want them to call the other party. But for people in the collective stage that can't see that, that can't understand that, then of course they're just acting out as if that all of a sudden it's acceptable, because mum and dad on the wide stage are doing it, so it's okay for us to do it now in our personal lives. So it just gives you a greater understanding of where that's coming from. And more often than not, it's actually got very little to do with you and your character and what you're actually made of and what you're actually about, and more to do with their inner wounds and their immaturity and their need for growth. So I hope that brings you some kind of peace. I hope it gives you the ability to even, of course, not take this lying down, but if you're affected by these energies, but smile and understand and realize that this isn't actually directed at me, really. This is an externalization of inner wounds. So if you would like a private reading, you can book in with me with any of the details below. If you message me on Facebook for a reading, spiritual guidance, or any energy work, then please go to the business page at True Divine. Otherwise, messages can get stuck in my private messenger, and they get lost in all of the other messages that I get each day. So I don't want to miss anybody that wants service from me. So service from me, I think I've said quite a lot of innuendos in this reading. It's the 26th. So what? So much love. Be balanced, be whole. Mwah. Love you all.